Hey guys, what's up? This Shye and welcome back to another Paladins video. So as you can see, I'm not in my usual location, I'm not in the match, I'm in the shooting range, and that is because today I want to be talking about the balance changes that is going to be happening in Vora's Pact, which is the next patch update for Paladins. As you can see right now, this is not the PTS, I'm not in live, I'm in the old patch. As you guys are watching this is going to be the old patch. By the time you're watching this, Vora is out, the new balance changes are out. And yeah, so for this video, I'm going to be talking about the befores and after for the balance changes. This could be either damage reduction, the fall off, or visual changes. So I am ready to talk about it. I just ate and I'm ready. So let's talk about the new changes. So for this, there are around 14 champions that have been changed. Not a lot, but some of them are quite significant and some of them quite not. These will involve some nerfs, some buffs, and overall some of them could be really like subjective, whether it's a nerf or a buff, depending on how you want to see it. So for the first champion, we have Androxus. So this is only for his talent with his Curse Revolver. It increased the damage fall off at 100 units from 75% to 65%. I'm just going to go really fast through this so we don't take too long. Corvus, the card, his grand design, the lifesteal, the scaling of it has been reduced from 5% to 3%. And the price of salvation, which is another card, the increased healing done has been scaled up, so instead of being 60 per level, it's now 75 per level, and the reduced healing time is gone down to 1 second, with the original being 2 seconds.
It's all about humanity.
Grohk is kind of like a quality of life change. So with his healing totem, this ability has received some quality of life improvements to make dropping totems against walls easier. When aiming at a wall, healing totals will now drop at the ground if it's at a valid location. Simple as that, especially if you're doing it in a rush. Sometimes you do just put the healing totem on the wall and it doesn't work and the person dies. So it just gives it a bit of a quality life update. Grohk is this with his throwing axe. The damage scaling has also been implemented on shields and deployables. Simple as that. And the damage gain is also dependent on the distance that it's been traveling. Further, the more damage. Imani, probably the biggest one, I personally believe. So we're going to go with abilities, and this is for her Frostbolt. The time between attacks has been reduced from 0.8 seconds to 0.5 seconds. However, the reduce of each Frostbolt has been gone down from 650 to 410. And the projectile speed of that has also been decreased by 60, so it's from 480 to now 420, so it now matches the pyro balls. Elemental shift, the time to swap between each stances has been decreased from 1 second to 0.25 seconds. Next is with her talents, just one, and that is Pyromania. Pyromania no longer requires 2 consecutive shots and for the third one to be an AoE. Now all of your pyroballs deal damage in an area. However, the reduced damage has gone down from 1000 to 800, and the reduced area effect is from now to 20 units instead of 30 units. Inara, her Mother's Grace talent has a damage reduction reduced from 28% extra to now 10%. And the ability Earthen Guard reduced the bonus healing received to 30% with the original value of 40%. And then finally, her card, Crag, reduced internal cooldowns from 10 seconds to 5 seconds now. Lex, a pretty interesting one actually. The ability Combat Slide you can now do in mid-air. If you are grabbed by Genos, you're no longer a sitting duck. You can combat slide out of the situation, unless he's obviously going for Power Cosmium, which then you're crippled and you can't do nothing. So you're almost as good as Androxus now, but you just can't fly. I mean dash, sorry. Also, with his ability Retribution, when used, this ability will now prioritize the player with the highest kill streak within 150 units of Lex, which is not really a long range, it's quite short, but it's quite good actually. If no enemies are within 150 units, Retribution will then prioritize the player with the highest kill streak outside of 150 units. And also Retribution can no longer target the same player twice in a row, which was a common thing that everyone wanted to get removed with Lex. Makoa, his shell spin has been increased. So with before the damage was 150 if you hit someone with shell spin, now it's 500 damage. And his shell shield, oh that's a tongue twister, his shell shield, the cooldown has been reduced by 1 second, so it's now 14 seconds from 15 seconds. And finally with Makoa, his cards, which is Barrier Reef, reduce the damage threshold, so instead of being every 2,500 shots, it reduces shield cooldown to 1 second, is now every 500 shots, reduces the cooldown by 0.2 seconds. Obviously with this card, if you increase the actual level of it, the reduced cooling scaling only goes up. Pip, the talent Combat Medic, I believe, I could be wrong, quote me if I'm wrong, but I'm a bit confident that I'm right, and they're bringing it back up to 750, so his normal weapon attacks when it hits allies, it will heal them for 750 instead of 700. I believe this was decreased in the past patch and now they're bringing it back up. Catalyst is also another talent. The duration of the bonus damage has gone up from 3 seconds to 4 seconds. Next, the abilities reduce the healing potion cooldown from 8 seconds to 7 seconds. And then finally, the card Escape Artist increase the weightless duration. So instead of scaling every 0.2 seconds, it will be scaling every 0.4 seconds, essentially doubling the effect. Sha Lin, his ability Rapid Shots reduce the cooldown from 15 seconds to 13 seconds. And the cards Grounded increase the health scaling, instead of being from 50 every level is now 60 every level. Tiberius, the ability Crouching Tiger is getting a bit of a quality life update, and it will just mean that it will make it a lot easier for the player to control where they land when they're using the ability Crouching Tiger. That is all for Tiberius. Viktor, his talents, Burst Mode is getting a reduce in the damage per shot from 220 to 200. The max damage fall off is reduced from 59% to 65%. So it now does 65% of 200 instead of 59% of 220 at max range. And the max damage fall off threshold reduced from 200 units to now 175 units. Vivian, again an update that I believe wasn't a huge nerf that some people think. I heard a lot of people cheering, but deep down I'm still not cheering. I'm still a bit like, Vivian's still strong how she is. So the ability Deflector Shield has been reduced with the shields from 1400 to 1200. Anti-Sentinel, which is her ult, reduced the damage of her sentinels from 200 to 150. Her cards Contingency reduces shield health scaling from 170 per level to 125 health per level. One Step Ahead has reduced the movement speed from 6% per level to 4% per level. And then Scapegoat, which is a final one with all the balance changes, reduces the Deflector Shield damage interception from 10% per level to now 8% per level. So that is all of the balance changes. I could go through bug fixes, but I'd rather do another video or not at all. But yeah, hopefully you guys have enjoyed this little update for Vora's Pact. Hopefully, obviously by the time you're watching this, it's been a few days into the patch, around probably like under a week. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed Vora, the new battle pass, the new updates. I'm absolutely ready for this. Obviously this is a voiceover. Everything you see on screen is basically backdrop of me just showing you what it is. There's also one thing I want to add in here that hasn't been mentioned, and that is a BombKing and how he's getting a quality of life change essentially for his ult. So his ult has changed, especially if you're mid-air. I'm not sure they implemented it. I've seen people try it and there's no difference for when you're mid-air or on the ground. So I'm going to also again here show you what it looked like in the past and what it looks like now. You see the side-by-side comparison of both of them, so you guys know what it looks like. But yeah, hopefully you guys have enjoyed today's video, and I will see you guys all next time. Bye bye.